It's pretty obvious that at this point it's become a battle between good and evil. I The one good thing that's come out of this Charlie Kirk assassination is so many people have been exposed to who the left truly is. With the amount of people that are coming out celebrating it and losing their jobs over it, which, I keep hearing the left say, I thought you guys were the party of free speech and the party of no consequences. And it's like, do you want someone working for your company who is celebrating the assassination of a man who was exercising his free speech and was killed for the entire world to see, for his kids and his wife to have to see, posted all over the internet? You really want those kinds of people working for you? And better yet, do you want to be affiliated with a party that celebrates that? And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, that's not me, or I don't support it, or blah, 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 blah. Well, this ideology that is responsible for a lot of this violence is mainstream Democrat ideology at this point. We just had a shooting yesterday at an ICE facility, and there's video after video, Gavin Newsom, Hakeem Jeffries coming out and saying, we need to unmask these people. Well, you're calling them Gestapo and you're calling them Nazis, and now you're wanting them unmasked for what reason? What purpose would you want that? Only reason I could think of is so they can be identified and attacked. This has woke up so many people who, I don't know if they just thought it was a game or they didn't realize how bad things were. In fact, a good buddy of mine who I didn't even realize he paid attention to politics, let alone paid enough attention to politics to know who Charlie Kirk was. And, he messaged me the day of and was like, man, did you see this? I'm like, yeah, dude. I was like, I had, no idea that you were even paying attention to this kind of stuff. And he messaged me like a day or two later, and he's like, hey, man, you want to go out fishing tonight or one day this week after work? He's like, I need to clear my head. This is really, really messing with me. I said, absolutely. I hooked the boat up that evening, and I said, I'll pick you up. Shot to the lake and didn't catch a damn thing, but we got to clear our heads. And, he then tells me that he wants to start going back to church. And we're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing a lot of these people that were on the fence about Christianity, or people that were, on the fence politically, who have just been snapped out of it like that. And I guess it's the one good takeaway from all this is it really put a spotlight on these two parties. And I hate teams. I hate this teamsmanship. Anyone that knows me, I'm a really independent person. I don't like team sports, and I don't like this team politic crap. It doesn't even have to be, it's not even politics at this point. It is legit good and evil. What happened to Charlie Kirk and the people that celebrated, those people are evil. There is no world where it should be okay for us to cheer on the political assassination of someone we don't like. I get it. I'm not the biggest fan of Joe Biden, but when they came out and said that he had cancer, the right was like, man, don't like the guy, but I wish him the best. I wish him to no pain, no suffering. What a bummer. It sucks. I'm not going to cheer when Joe Biden dies. I'm not going to cheer if anything happens to Nancy Pelosi. I don't like these people at all. I got family members who don't agree with my politics, close family members who don't agree with my politics. And I get it. I understand it. But at this point now, it should be pretty obvious what you're supporting. If you support a party that is unwilling to have these conversations, Charlie Kirk was the one guy going out and reaching out to people to have these conversations. And they killed him because they didn't like what he was saying. And it wasn't that they didn't like what he was saying. They didn't like that he was effective. They didn't like that he was changing people's minds. They didn't like that more and more youth are now turning to Christ. They didn't like that more and more kids were doing the same thing he was doing and now having these debates and these conversations and trying to change minds. That's why he was killed. I don't want to live in a world. I don't want to live in a godless world anymore. I haven't been religious at all my whole life. I've been an atheist. I've been this crazy, do what you want, sex, drugs, and alcohol. I was pro-choice till I had my first kid. And last year I had made the decision to stop living that life, or at least having those views as far as religion goes. And I really started researching and I really started looking into it. Wes Huff was on Rogan, and he really, the history of the Bible and stuff really flipped that switch in me, realizing that I think I got it wrong. And even if becoming a Christian is also not true, it's definitely a way better way of living. This country was founded on Christian values. For the last 250 years, it's been a pretty Christian nation. And these last couple of decades, the further and further we get away from God, the more decay we see, the more degeneracy, the birth rates are collapsing, fatherless homes are on the rise, and that's not a world that I want to live in. So at this point, this battle between good and evil needs to, we need to put a stop to it. And we need to find God. We need to focus on family, and the politics will follow. I really believe that what Charlie Kirk was doing in bringing more kids to Christ is what's really helping shape their worldview on politics. Last year when I decided to start now believing more in God, it was kind of short-lived, and I quickly reverted back to old ways, and I need to make a radical change in the right direction again. And it's been affecting my home life. It's been affecting my physical and mental health. And Charlie Kirk's passing really woke me up. And I hope it wakes up more and more of you people, and you realize that the only way we get out of this mess is through finding God.